This is Inspiring Careers with your host, Ingrid Centurion. We're going to talk about fascinating technologies that will impact your future. Meet inspiring entrepreneurs and people that are making huge differences in the community and around the world. Today we have Kelly Jenkins with us, the owner of Captiva Home in Berlin, Massachusetts. And she's going to tell us all about furniture painting, how she started her business, and how she's growing right now. Thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So when did you start this business?
About 2 years ago. I've always had a passion for painting and decided to take it a step further.
And what did you major in college?
So actually marketing,
Okay.
but I did go to vocational high school and majored in painting there.
Oh, so let's talk a little bit about the vocational high schools. Where did you go to school?
Assabet Valley Vocational High School.
We have several of them here in Massachusetts, very good schools. So that was wonderful. You were able to take your passion of painting all the way through and start your business.
Yeah.
Now, what really made you start it, like launch it? Because we're all sometimes afraid of going into business. And what was that experience, and how was that experience for you?
So my husband and I had been talking about it for a while, and then one day decided to really make the effort. And then a week later, I was laid off from my corporate job. So it was like, okay, we're doing it. We are in it, and I was able to focus very quickly and really took it from there.
So let's talk about your three business and lines of revenue.
Yeah.
You sell paint.
I do.
Let's talk a little bit about the paint that you're working on and you're using for your pieces.
Sure. So I'm with Dixie Belle Paint, and it's a great brand, and it's really made in the U.S., easy to use. It's great for a DIY painter and also a pro. So it's a lot of fun to play with all the different colors, and we do have them back there on display. And then we also do a lot of painted furniture, so you could buy our physical furniture, or I could teach you how to paint. So either way, I'm able to help different clients.
And what are you seeing right now that the teaching is really good business? People really want to learn?
They do. They love it. It's so fulfilling to be able to take a piece that was kind of boring or well-loved and then have it be fresh, and you can really be proud of it. There's just so much joy in it.
And how long does each painting piece take? I mean, I know some paintings it could take, years to make a Picasso and stuff like that. So I couldn't do it. I don't know. I would feel like it's going to take me 6 months. I'll never be able to actually show the piece.
Yeah.
But you're probably really fast and good at it.
I'm quick, and I can take you through, like in a morning, I'd be able to help you paint a piece and figure that out. So 2 to 3 hours is like a regular kind of time frame.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of videos on YouTube.
Yes.
You're like really good on camera. You teach everybody how to do it. Do they send you questions and are like, hey,
Yes.
how do you do this? I'm having trouble with this. You have a lot of conversation with your viewers.
Yeah, so I have a lot of followers, and I love interacting with them. They send me questions. They have a lot of feedback on my pieces. So a lot of times I'll start with a blank canvas of the piece, and then we'll talk about what color and what kind of finishing, and it's really fun to be able to take them through the whole process. And I know they love seeing the end results. So that's really
What's really
great.
hot right now? What are people enjoying painting?
Blending. So it's all about the blended, boho. Mid-century modern is making a comeback. So we see a lot of different styles based on also around the country and kind of your decor taste as well.
You're going to give us a demonstration in a little bit. What is that piece about? Is that blending?
No, this is just a basic white piece. So I have an end table that I started with, and you'll see it as brown and kind of boring. And then I did just a quick update with a white and a light distress. And it's just a really easy way to update your piece of furniture. Very simple. So.
And another line of your business is selling pieces.
Mm-hmm.
How many pieces do you have in your business?
In my inventory, I have a nice stash. So I have probably 30 to 40 different bureaus and pieces that I've acquired because I can see that there's potential there. So a lot of clients will come to me and say, oh, I'm looking for this kind of piece, what do you have? And then I can paint it for them, or I'll paint them and then offer them for sale. But I'm always looking for pieces and trying to find those gems.
So what I can see that people would really like to do is save a piece that they've had for a really long time.
Yes.
They bring it to you and say, hey, I really want to keep this. I don't want to buy new furniture.
Yep.
How do you go about establishing the pricing for that? Is it based on the complexity of
the paint design and how much time it probably takes you, right?
That all factors in. So we have some guidelines, and then based on the condition of the piece and then also what they want to do with it, we'll kind of go from there. We'll do some repairs. Like I just had a woman bring me her father's watchmaking desk. So it had 19 little drawers. It was super fun, but it was in really poor condition. So we were able to restore it. She's thrilled to be able to use it in her home again, and it was a really great project. But I wouldn't have picked that piece up off the street. That one would have been a little more
So that
work
was
than
really sad looking.
It was. It needed some help, but it was so cute in the end.
Right. Also, you took, sad piece and made it so happy for your customers.
Exactly.
That's right. And furniture is so expensive today.
It's expensive.
You go to the stores.
Yeah, and a lot of the older pieces are actually more well-made than something that you're going to buy at a reasonable price here.
Can we
now.
buy your pieces online? So when we go to your site, if there's a piece there, you ship and send everything out.
I do. So I ship nationwide. I actually have a piece going to California this week, so that's pretty cool. I think that's the longest trip we've had made so far.
Wow.
So it's fun. Like, you can connect with people all over the world. I didn't realize how many people love painting or had any kind of passion there, so it's been really great experience.
I'm just coming back from a cruise in Bermuda, and I did my first painting class with my mom.
Oh, great.
It was very sad. It was a guitar, and mine didn't look like a guitar, but painting, it can be very relaxing.
It is, and therapeutic. A lot of people will discover it as a way to kind of build their confidence, or they just use it as therapy. A lot of people state that.
That's great.
So it's nice. You can meditate. I always think better while I'm painting. Look at these great ideas. But it's just such a great activity.
So I asked you about your customers. Where are they? So they're all around the United States. And how many different states now are you shipping stuff to?
Oh, I don't know. Probably 10 to 20 states. And then I also have people that watch on Facebook. I'm very popular there, and YouTube. So I have people from around the country and also around the world. There's a big group in New Zealand for some reason that follow me and a couple of my other painter friends. So it's just so cool to connect with people.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about affiliate marketing.
Yep.
Because that's also a line of revenue for you. And how did you get into the affiliate marketing?
Yeah. So a lot of that comes from people asking me, what do you use? So whenever I do a video, they're always asking, like, where do you get those little rollers? Where do you get that kind of supply? So you can actually make these affiliate relationships with different people, like Amazon. And then I could say, this is my link. You can find the product that you're looking for, and then I get a small commission off of that. So it's a great way to get a little bit of revenue and still be able to help my people, because it is hard to find some of these things sometimes. So it's great.
Do people go out and try and use other lines and come back to you and say, oh, it didn't come out right?
Oh, yes. One of the biggest questions in furniture painting is, how do you do that? What product should I use for filling the wood grain? What should I use for this? What should I use for that? So having a few that I really can stand behind and recommend to you, it helps people because they trust my brand, and then they can get those results.
Right. So
it
like
works out.
In makeup, there's all kinds of makeup out there.
Yes.
And some makeup is really expensive, some is not that expensive.
Yep.
And what I've always found out, it's kind of like about the application of it.
Yes.
But in this situation, you really need to use good quality products.
You do. Everyone wants to take a shortcut. There's a lot of hype about like no prep paint, which after you've done it for a little while, you realize that that's not entirely correct. You do need to do some prep work, and it's all worth it in the end. So it's about application and products and skill and learning things as you go, because there's always something new.
Patience.
Patience.
When you screw up.
Trying to learn how to overcome those issues as you encounter them, because it happens all the time.
Now let's talk about your store here that you have in Framingham.
Yes.
Where is it located?
So I'm part of a shop on Eastleigh Farm on 1062 Edmonds Road in Framingham. It's the cutest place. I'm one of the vendors within Avenue C Design, so they have gathered all kinds of handmade and vintage items. There's actually like cows on the farm, and they have ice cream, and they have all these other really great community activities. So I'm really happy to be part of a farm and a small business that's operating there.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for being on the show today. What we're going to do now is go to a break, and when we come back, we'll have a live demonstration. Welcome back. We're now going to give you a live demonstration of this incredible piece we have right here. This is the sad piece that you found at the thrift store or wherever you were out looking for furniture. And what do you look for when you have a piece like this?
Yes. So you'll find an abundance of furniture around yard sales, thrift stores. Everyone's trying to get rid of it because in this state, it kind of just looks a little sad. It's kind of boring. But once we paint it, you'll see how exciting it can be.
So what kind of wood is this?
So this is likely an oak. What you want to look for is solid wood as opposed to a veneer, which is just a thin layer of wood over particle board, which will fall apart over time.
So oak, cedar, walnut, chestnut. I look inside here, it says heritage.
Yeah.
So I mean, this feels like a really good, solid piece.
Yes. So that's a great piece to focus on to start with. If you can handle the repairs and you see that there's a leg that's wobbly, then you could certainly do that. But if you start with a more solid piece in better condition, it's going to make for a better project overall.
So we can go out looking for all the sad pieces and bring them home to you.
Yeah,
and say,
absolutely.
I want this.
Yes.
Take care of this for me. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So explain to us the process of the transformation. After you found a piece that you're like, okay, this is good, this is solid, there's no legs loose. I want to transform that. What do we decide on?
Yes, so the most important thing is the prep work. So that's not the fun part, but it will help you get to a better piece overall. So you need it to be clean. So a lot of times you can use some different cleaners for that, depending on how dirty you think it may be or some other factors. And then you just want to lightly sand it.
So what are some good cleaners for cleaning the wood? And certain woods require different cleaners?
They could, or depending on where you acquired it from. If the former owner was a smoker or was just very grimy, sometimes you'll have different things you run into, or if it's greasy.
How do you get rid of smoke?
It's one of the worst ones.
I have a piece actually that it still smells like smoke.
Yeah.
What do I do to get rid of that smell?
So a lot of it is cleaning off the finish, and then you can also seal it in with shellac. But you have to spray every little bit. So that means the interiors, the drawers, all of that has to be sealed up in order to essentially trap that smoke.
Okay, hold on, let me smell this one.
Yeah. So
no, this one does not smell like cigars or cigarettes.
I try to avoid those whenever possible.
So I know Murphy's oil, that's kind of like the only wood cleaner that I know. Is that a common one that you use, that one that's really comes in the liquid? So that would actually create an issue for the paint. So that creates a nice slick surface and the paint can't bond to it. So what you want to do is remove all those things. So unlike the older pieces, a lot of grandmas used to use wax and different cleaners and polishes, which are great when you have a wood piece, but they will act as a resist for your paint. So you need to get those off. So what I like to use is actually denatured alcohol, which is essentially rubbing alcohol. And then you just clean that off and it really gets rid of all those polishes, oils, even finger oils from someone touching it over 50 years can act as a problem with your paint. So you need to make sure it's clean. When you found this piece, was it really shiny? And now it's dull?
Yep, so it was much more shiny. So removing the shine on it is a great way to approach it. So you want to take off the shine by cleaning and then also do a quick sand with something like this. So this is a great sandpaper that I love. And then you just have to quickly rough it up because if it is super slick, your paint again can't bond to it very easily. There's ways to overcome it, but sanding is a great way to start for your basic.
And how many hours does it take to strip this one and sand it down?
Yep. So generally it's like half an hour. If you have a really dirty piece, it might be a little bit more. If you have some other issues, you might have to do something like priming as part of your base coat, your prep work. But then after that, once we are clean, sanded, we're ready for paint. So it comes pretty easy.
All right, so half an hour has passed, we're ready for
half
paint.
an hour. So all we do is use a nice quality brush. So I love something like this. It's just a synthetic, it's about 1.5 inches wide. It's really comfortable. And then I'm using the Dixie Belle paint. So this is actually called Fluff. This is one of their white colors, and it's just a nice neutral, just white. I figured we'd keep it pretty basic here for people who are new to furniture painting. So then I can start with this right here. And all we do is brush it on. And make sure that you get into all of the different details. And it's super relaxing. It's so nice to just kind of come along and paint your piece.
So you don't want to put it on thick?
No. So you want
put
thinner
it on lightly?
coats. Yep.
Okay.
If you have it too thick, it's possible that it could run or have some drips. So then you'd have to keep in mind that you want to watch for those.
Right.
And what I usually do is kind of roam around my pieces I'm painting, so that way I could see if there was something that was dripping.
Okay, so you don't want too much paint, no dripping, because then it'll show the lines dripping down. And it's hard to to take that off?
Well, then you have to sand it out. So it's easier if you can just avoid it in the beginning,
Right. Okay.
and try to keep a nice, clean surface.
How many coats will you eventually put on this piece?
So
So we're going to show them the final piece.
We are.
So that's why I wanted to let them know now, you know, we're setting it all up here.
We
How
are.
many coats will you eventually have placed on the piece?
So typically you're going to do 2 coats of paint. White is actually one of the harder colors to cover, so you'll typically need to do an extra coat, so maybe 3.
Okay.
But that's okay. You kind of know it going into it. So if it's white or something like a red or a yellow are also challenging to cover, so you might need a little bit more paint. But this is all you have to do. Just kind of get it on there and then smooth it off. And depending what kind of style you're looking for, you might want to do some like interesting texture, or you could add some blending. Something like this is great for a little bit of accenting with glazes, so you can have a lot of fun with it once you get your base coat down.
Because the design has those X's in them.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
If it
like
didn't
that-
have that, it would be a little more challenging
Oh, you
to
just
throw
go
in another color.
You could do it a few different ways, but like something like that detail, to me, screams use a little glaze. Whenever you have details in your piece, you want to kind of look to accent them a little bit more. If you have just a very flat piece, you kind of have a blank canvas, but it can be a little boring too.
Okay.
So that's what I like to do with these ones.
Now, for a piece like this,
Mm-hmm.
you're teaching us how to do it. How much would it cost in supplies, and just the supplies that we get from you?
Yep. So this is an 8-ounce can. They also come in 16 and 32. This is $10. Really easy, very affordable. The brushes are worthwhile to spend a little bit more. So this is like a $25 brush, still very affordable, and you'll use it for a long time. You could use like chip brushes, which are just like $1 or $2, but your finish isn't going to be as good, and you'll go through them quickly. So you end up spending more on those cheap supplies than just investing in a nice brush.
So the one little can's going to be able to cover this piece and the other piece, the 2 end tables?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
this one I actually
it goes a
painted the
long
other
way.
one. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're about halfway through it, and I've already done 3 coats on the other piece, and then this will be enough to get through this one as well. So $5 in paint.
That is a great deal.
It is.
Wow.
So and you'll get a
okay.
whole new life out of the piece, as opposed to throwing it away or doing something else with it.
I know, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a lot of fun.
So let's look at the final piece then.
Let's do it. Do you want to just
All right. No,
pop it up?
go ahead. Bring it up here. Drum roll.
Let's see.
Let's see. Put
I'll
the.
move it over here.
Let's put this one right up there. See if it's in the shot.
So
Oh yeah, there it is.
This is what
is the final piece. Let me scoot it over a little bit longer. Now, on this final piece, you stayed with the original handles.
yes.
You could also change out the handles to really make it look different.
You could, and these were actually cleaned up. So they were very dark, but adding just a little bit of Barkeeper's Friend, which is kind of a classic cleaning product, really brings out those brassy tones. So this is very much more in line with the current aesthetic than the brown with the dirty handles. So it updates it nicely.
Wonderful, thank you so much. I also noticed when you came in, this looked bigger. It just like from the eyes, it looked bigger than the other piece there.
Yeah, it's funny. Once you paint pieces, they can have a very different feel, a very different expectation around them.
So tell us your website and how we can follow up with you for our viewers.
Absolutely. So I'm at CaptivaHomeDecor.com. You can find all of my information. I'm also very active on Facebook at facebook.com/CaptivaHome. I do a lot of different teaching videos from the basics all the way up to more advanced techniques. I do private classes as well. And then you can also shop for the paint through our website, which is CaptivaHomeDecor.com.
Okay,
And get
well,
it shipped right to you.
thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
And we'll hopefully have you back. We'll have some more peepses. Maybe you'll have a set for me.
Yeah, that'd be so fun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.